Thank you for tuning in to CPTV. I'm your host of Conversation Peace. I'm live with actor, rapper Ken Lawson is in the building. How are you feeling right now? Let's just get into, the show. We are season finale of season 6.
Yes.
In the cut. So how is everything going with that show?
Oh, it's going beautifully. I'm really excited about watching the show tonight. I got my proposal going on for my girlfriend, Angelique, played by Chastity Dawson. So it's going to be pretty fun. I can't wait. It's going to air in like another hour. So, yay!
Tune in, everybody. As soon as this is over, you hop on over to Bounce TV and check out In the Cut if you haven't already. So, it's kind of hard to get a haircut right now. It's COVID-19. Like, how you keeping it, tight? How have you been maintaining it?
I actually own a barbershop, so I'm pretty good.
So art is imitating life. Like you own a barbershop, so you work it or you just kind of oversee everything?
Well, me and my wife, we have it. She's a hairstylist, and it was actually passed down to us from my brother. So we're working it all out. We have 5 barbers and 3 female hairstylists, so it's working out pretty good. My brother cuts my hair most of the time. Josh the barber, shout out.
Shout out to you guys.
He comes through and keeps me tight. Every now and then he might come through the house and bless me with a home cut,
Yeah. So you good. You got it runs in the family, so you taking care of. It's hard for the rest of us out here.
Right. My bad.
So are you able to like bring your experiences from the barbershop into the show? Is that what is going on?
Yeah, well, most definitely. Just the fact that, the barbershop is the spot we can talk about anything. So being able to have a show that, especially with Bentley Kyle Evans, who's the executive producer, he brings it, man. We're able to talk about so many different aspects of life and Black culture on the show and actually make fun of life and humanity at the same time. So it's a great situation.
I know working with him must be amazing. Like he was the creator of Martin. So this is like another Black sitcom that we really need because we don't really have, we had a few shows that took off, but then they, not there anymore. And y'all have been going for 6 seasons. It's on a Black-owned station. So how is it being affected by COVID-19? And, you were able to film these episodes, but now what?
Yeah, well, basically everybody's on lockdown. It's kind of difficult to, do anything in the entertainment industry when you have that 6 feet of distancing and, everybody has to wear masks. So when it comes down to the producers and the writers, it does make it a bit difficult. I mean, the whole industry is shut down. So, thank God that, with Bentley Kyle Evans, we were able to shoot a lot of these episodes and get those out of the way right before this COVID-19 hit. So, yeah, it's a blessing to be able to have this work out there because nobody's shooting anything. Everybody's in their editing rooms trying to salvage whatever they do have, but Bentley got it done.
That's right. So I'm glad to see that and that, there is hope for the future that one day we'll be able to get back on set and otherwise we're going to have to come up with some other ideas. Like, are there any, because even with the barbershop, it's kind of difficult to produce services. So what are some of the ways you can transition yourself and do other things in order to survive? Because I saw on your Instagram you had posted the biggest looting was when these corporations got all these millions of dollars and people are still out here starving.
Yeah, well, the thing is when you're a business owner or just a regular person or citizen, it's you don't have the lawyers and the corporate muscle to do what you need to do. Especially with us, we own a shop and we're amongst other, major corporations. We have like, Chuck E. Cheese and, other food places that are in the area that were a lot quicker to get their money. But when it comes down to us, just having to go through all the documentation and having to provide this information, it's a bit difficult. And I'm sure, that $1,200, is not a lot, but, it's a little bit to help people to survive. Me, I'm not a big flosser, so I'm good right now.
Yeah.
make sure everybody else is out there good, because these corporations and these banks, it's pretty hard to even get some of these loans, being a black-owned business, for any black-owned business, we have to go to these major banks, the Wells Fargos, the Bank of Americas, the Chases. And that's why it's very important that we try to put our money into our own entities,
Yes. I saw you had talked about that during Juneteenth, and everybody was like, let's buy black. But I noticed a lot of things trend for a day and then it goes away after a day. Right. It's hard for us to stay focused on the goal and not get complacent and not be okay with things, because I feel like they've done everything but what we asked. They've painted the street. They've, made some, a couple laws change, right, but they have not arrested Breonna Taylor's killers. Right. And then George Floyd's people are getting out on bail. It's too much.
Yeah, it's the thing about it that really affects, not just me, but, probably a lot of other, African Americans in this country, is that it just tears your heart apart when you're seeing the people that share your culture, your skin tone, being murdered in the street, going through these situations, and just knowing that it can be you. Just the fact that we stepped on this ground in America in 1619, and we've never had those equal rights. I try to share with people, to go look up, that slave patrol, the runaway slave patrol, and look at these things and see these symbols, and the same curriculum that these police officers are following is the same thing from the runaway slaves. It's the same badge. It's the same criteria, wanting to see the paperwork, just harassing,
Yeah, it's just the time is being exposed through video camera. That's what I think is happening more so than, it's just coming out of nowhere. Like these Karens now. I don't know. Like Karens have been going out of control. I don't know.
Right.
Have you experienced?
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. It's like, these things have always been occurring, just now that they're just being recorded. And that's the whole piece. And like I said, it just tears your heart apart. When you're of African descent, and especially when you have children like I do, it gets scary. You try to educate your kids, to let them know what's going on out there, but you don't want to, have them petrified to go out into the streets and be independent and be free. But things happen out in these streets, and sometimes you just can't protect them with your words, and that's scary. It's scary.
Yeah. So what are some of the things that you're, like, the conversations that you're having with your kids about this? Because one, not only are you traumatized from actually seeing it if they're watching the news with you, but, they have to know how to handle themselves. So you have to talk to them as a parent. How do you do that?
Yeah, it's a difficult conversation. I'm not going to lie to you, because it's one thing to see these travesties happen, and the fact is that when it does happen, you're not seeing any outcome, that when you have to sit here and fight for people to be arrested, for police officers to be arrested, you're seeing the comparison of the videos of how, some other cultures that may come in contact with the police, how they are being treated, as opposed to the hostility that is being, given to people of African descent and Latinos, man. I can't. I grew up in the Latino community, so I've seen both sides of it. It's just terrible, It's just terrible. I try to just tell my children to, stay peaceful, make it home, be conscious of what's going on. I don't want to go through this myself. And the fact is that when I see other families going through it, it just tears my heart apart, you become speechless after a while. No one wants to see anyone murdered, anyone mistreated. But when they are mistreated, to see no justice, to have people. And the thing that's really cool is that, I live out here in Rancho area, Rancho Cucamonga, Inland Empire. And, I was driving down the street, right after the George Floyd situation. And I just, there's a whole bunch of protests that were going on. They actually had one out here where like 9 people got arrested. And at the same time, I'm not just seeing, people of African descent, protesting. I'm seeing Asians out there. I'm seeing Latinos out there, and some Caucasian people out there saying Black Lives Matter, man. It makes me feel so good to just see it being acknowledged. No one wants to see the looting and the rioting, but at the same time, no one goes to jail when you don't. And that's the terrible fact about it. That's the terrible fact.
Yeah.
People care more about these corporations and the products and the tangible things than they do about life.
Yeah, that I'm so glad that we're starting to see a change, and we've actually gotten some laws passed. The George Ford police reform bill was passed. Some other things in California were passed as far as police reform. So I think that now that we got to a point where we're tired of it, he was basically tortured in front of our eyes, so we had to do something. So I just want people to stay focused on the goal, because I feel like, every time this happens, because I remember, it popped up, you have a Facebook memory. I was wearing a hoodie for Trayvon, I'm like, this has been going on and on and on and on. So we have to stay on their neck as long as possible. The whole NBA distraction, I believe we should just sit this one out. But I know a lot of those players that used to a lifestyle, and, I don't think they're willing to sacrifice.
It's crazy. This COVID-19 is like, I don't want to put it like that, but it's like a blessing and a curse. Because if we didn't have this time to sit back and to chill and to be more aware of what's going on, it would just pass on. We would be distracted. It would be another NBA game we might be watching, or another NFL game we might be watching, or watching baseball. It's like right now people really have the time to really see what's going on, the systemic racism that goes on in our society that needed to be addressed.
But you didn't see it before. I mean, like I said, we've seen Mike Brown, we've seen Trayvon, Tamir Rice, Eric Gardner. We've seen it.
Yeah. And the thing is that we all get affected by it. And when you see no justice, it just, what are we fighting against? It's bigger than anything. And that's why I try to tell my kids, it's like, you got to understand what racism is. I tell them, hey, you guys are young. If I didn't tell you what that stop sign was, you wouldn't stop. Sometimes you have to sit here and point things out to people so they can see what's going on.
Okay, so yeah, good. The distractions are gone. But do you feel like these celebrities have a obligation to speak out? Because we see what happened to Colin Kaepernick, and now the NFL is all like, we're with, Black Lives Matter out of nowhere. But you basically blackballed a man, and he still hasn't been, apologized to personally. So,
and that's what's really cool about, Colin, man. Shout out to that brother, man. And he literally sacrificed his career, and a lot of people don't have the monetary, gains to be able to do that. It's a sacrifice when you speak out against the system that you feel has been mistreating you for so many, not decades, but centuries, that's been going on. And this brother sacrificed his career. And at the same time, like they say, this brother was just taking a knee, a peaceful protest amongst other NFL players that were taking a knee and sacrificing their careers and their livelihood and putting their families in jeopardy. And then now we have this situation where people are like, oh, now we see what's going on. And then the fact that they're saying they're going to bring him back into the NFL, I mean, it's a blessing. But at the same time, he took a lot just to make a major statement, a nationwide, worldwide statement.
Don't you think that's like giving us crumbs? Like, oh, we're going to let Colin Kaepernick come back, but I want some owners to be black. How about that? Can we get some black owners in the NFL? Can we get something, black coaches, more black quarterbacks, whatever?
Right. When it
Can
comes
we get some real stuff? That's what I want.
When it comes down to any of these sports that, that African Americans or people of African descent, participate in, it's the fact that we are the sport. We are the sport. We excel in these sports, and it'll be great to see a lot more inclusion inside of these organizations.
Yeah. So tell me more about what you do in your, own life, how you are fighting for justice. How do you personally feel like you can use your voice?
Well, my whole thing is I've always been taught that the revolution starts in your home. You know, making sure your kids are right, raising your kids right, taking the time with your children, making sure that they're going to be okay, because it starts on the inside, just like it starts on the inside of every individual. It starts on the inside, you know, and what you do with your life. Like one of the reasons I got into this industry was, you know, just to show that there's a difference, that, you know, not all black males are affiliated with gangs or, you know, on this different level. You know, I just wanted to make sure there was a change. It got to the point where when I first got into the industry, it was always that role for man one, man two, thug one, thug two, gangster one, gangster two. You know, and we're not the ones that are writing these concepts. You know, it's like my man D.L. Hughley says, you know, the scariest place for a black man to live is in a white person's brain, where just the fear of what they may think of black people or African Americans is the fear that doesn't even exist, you know, which causes the miscommunications and people not being able to socialize as we should.
Right. So I see you posted on your Instagram, I am my ancestors' wildest dreams. What do you mean by that?
I mean, it's just the fact that we've been fighting for years to be acknowledged, to show how special we are, our gifts. You know, it's a tragedy for us to be brought onto this continent in such a way, but at the same time, we are a peaceful people. You know, we're God's gift to this world. You know, we give everything. You know, we give everything. I've been to Kemet or Egypt. You know, I studied out there. I've been to the temples and the pyramids.
What did you learn out there that we should know?
Well, one thing you gotta learn is that they don't allow you to take pictures inside of these places.
Oh wow!
Right, but you know,
you have to go see it for yourself.
You have to go. You have to go. I mean, you got to go to the motherland. You know, you got to see what's going on out there. To just go and to watch some of these murals on the walls and these depictions of our people with, you know, with the skin blacker than my shirt, all on the walls. You know, these inscriptions on the walls. It just blows your mind. That's why they call them the books in stone, because, you know, you couldn't take this stone and travel, you know,
right,
to anywhere. You had to come there to study, you know, and if you were able to document anything, that's where they got the whole point of having scrolls, which, you know, I learned while I was out there of how they were making the papyri, the paper, and making the scrolls. And that's how it was. That's how the word traveled, you know. And so, you know, we're a very spiritual people, and you know, I don't think that, you know, people continue to try to break us, but they won't, and they can't.
Right.
You know, they can't. We're gonna keep on thriving to do exactly what we're meant to do, man, is to bring peace into this world and to bring the joy that we bring, man. That's why I'm always smiling, because I feel good on the inside always. You know, nobody's gonna try to dim my light, and I don't want nobody dimming anybody's light. You know, we see all these things on television and all these tragedies on television. It's like it's so sad, and they definitely try to break us, but you know, we're still here, and we still gonna grow.
We're still here, and we're fighting racism and COVID-19. Like, I see people going crazy about wearing a mask. Like, masks are bad. They have the WHO organization doesn't know what to tell us. Like, I'm gonna wear my mask. How are you?
Right. Yeah, it's like, you know, when you have this information that's being, you know, given out to us, and it's coming from two different angles, and people are saying you don't need to wear a mask, and some folks are like, hey, you know, I'm an American, you know, you're taking away our freedom. It's like, man, it's not about you wearing a mask. It's like you're supposed to protect people from you. You know, it's like the gift of saying, hey, if I do have something, if I do have anything, I want to make sure that you don't get it. Right. You know, regardless, you know, not everybody's out there getting these COVID-19 tests. I actually took a test, you know, and had it for the antibodies and for the COVID-19. They both came back negative. But, you know, how many people have not got it done and don't know that they're asymptomatic and could be possibly passing it on to their elders?
Are you strictly quarantining at the house? How is that going?
I mean, you know, I stay in the house most of the time unless I have to, you know, go shopping for essentials or things like that. You know, I did go down to Costco, and you know, I went right when the COVID-19 first started. You know, it was like this big thing where you had to like load up on your supplies, and you know, just my first experience of going to the store. Normally, you'll be able just to walk right in, but the line was literally around the building, and they were limiting people to get in, and they were limiting the water you were able to purchase, and the paper towels and other cleaning essentials, baby wipes, things like that. The simplest things that you would normally be able to grab from the store were no longer available. And
now we're out of that kind of sort a little. I see lines sometimes, but at least the aisles aren't bare anymore. Like that was the scary part.
Right. Yeah, I was on Amazon.com. I was just scrolling through, doing things, and I seen like a 12-pack roll of towels, paper towels, going for like $99. I'm like,
that's crazy.
Yeah, wow. Man, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Well, it's a second wave supposedly coming, so go ahead and stock up now, so we don't have to worry about that.
Right.
Because the second wave they say is coming, but I don't know. Like, I just feel like I'm gonna stay home. I'm okay with it. Some people are like really, I feel like going crazy. Like all these Karens. Like I don't know if it's I've been in the house too long, so I'm going off on everybody, or are they just now being recorded as well?
Like, yeah, it's crazy, man. Like I said, it's you don't really notice what's going on until you take a look in the mirror, and the fact that we have all these nice high quality cameras filming all of this stuff, and it's hilarious to just look at people in their ignorance, man. It's like just willful ignorance, man. No respect for humanity. It's like just,
and they've been getting fired too. Like a lot of them have lost their jobs.
Right, as they should. If you're a public servant or serving anybody in the community, you shouldn't have these and harness these feelings or this rage against anyone, man. Especially if you're serving other people and providing a service, man. It's just an insult to humanity. We're supposed to be here to help keeping this planet growing, keeping our country thriving, and to have people that are in these positions of power, acting the way they act. And I don't care if you don't do it when you're at your job or you're in corporate America doing what you do, but when you're in the public doing these things, harassing kids for selling water, things like that, it's just really ignorant. I just don't understand it. Brother in the park, bird watching, and call the police, saying that he's threatening your life. It's like they
with the voice too. That's what kills me. Is like how they could be on in the cut with those acting skills, because they
right. But they not acting for real. That's how some of these people genuinely feel, and it's just a shame. People have isolated themselves from humanity, and that's where the failure is. Society is out there in these streets, and we need to be social. We are a social people, and to have people just Xing, people from the community out is just shameful.
So how is it? What is life like? Because you have like 5 kids, right?
6
kids. How is it quarantining with the whole family? Because like it's different for me. I'm here eating my snacks. If it wasn't for this FaceTime call, my hair wouldn't be done. Who cares?
Right.
It just is what it is.
Right.
How is it quarantining with the family?
Well, what's really interesting is that we don't normally buy like canned goods and things like that. But when this first kicked off, I was buying canned goods just to have them in the house, just in case, because nobody knows what the future is. But it's like the first week, everybody's just eating them all up. All the cup of noodles is gone. I'm like, yo, well, what's going on, man? This is for a case of emergencies, man. But it's crazy. All the snacks are getting eaten, and it's like so.
It seems like everybody doing the same thing then.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, but it's been cool because the fact that I have my 12-year-olds, they're they were in school, so during this situation where like I said, I never knew about like Zoom or anything like that, but the fact that we're over here communicating with these teachers and all these other students through the Zoom platform, it's like wow, all the homeschooling that was going on, it just really changed up a lot.
Are you having to be more hands-on as a teacher? Because I know some parents have been like they have to give tests and all this stuff.
Right, exactly. That's exactly what's been going on. Just making sure that our kids are getting the information that they need, because a lot of people were just graduating like, hey, well, you got here, you're going to go ahead and graduate to the 9th grade, you're good. You know, it's
Right, like you don't even have the skills. Like I wish
right,
you
right.
that.
It's been crazy, and so, but at the same time, I've been taking a lot of these times to, to make quality time with my children. You know, like we sit back and we watch a lot of movies, produced by African Americans and writers. You know, I had my sons watching the Malcolm X, which was directed by Spike Lee. You know, things like that. Just making sure that they just know about our culture, know about these writers, these great directors that are out there. You know, making sure that they hear our story and the stories that are being told by our people, because it's very important. And that's why it's such a blessing to be in an affiliation with Bentley Kyle Evans and his production, and working with Dorian Wilson, who plays my father on the show, and John Marshall.
So how is it you guys have been like from the beginning of your career almost to now? Y'all still working together? How was that?
It is a straight blessing. I mean, Dorian Wilson is one of the greatest mentors I've ever had. This brother is just so talented. Mm-hmm. I mean, just to be working with him again on this show, to be going through 7 seasons, prayerfully going to have a season 8. You know, it's just a blessing, man. You know, John Marshall Jones, Kalita Smith, Miss Laura Hayes. You know, it's just been, I can't even say it in words. My boy Dorian, who does the skin, the buttercream, the butter skin, it's like, it's really cool, man. It's like, it's brothers doing their thing, black production. Bentley Kyle Evans is a major player in the game, and I love that brother.
So what are some of the most memorable times of this season? Because this is like right before we had to be stuck in the house. Like we could be outside. What was the last season 6 most memorable time?
Well, just as an actor, the fact that I have my girlfriend, Angelique on there, and like tonight with the season finale, get to the point where I'm trying to prepare to pop the question. It's like going through that and feeling that and seeing this comedy, seeing this love that's being generated on this show and building on that. It's just really a special moment for me as an actress. It's a step up. Then the fact that we get to share it with the rest of the community and the world, it's like, as an actor, I'm just smiling so hard because it's like, man, I just can't believe that our show has been around for 6 seasons, season 7 in the can, and hopefully getting to season 8. It's not easy for a lot of black actors to be out here in this game. So that's why I feel so fortunate to still be doing what I'm doing, to have been on so many television sitcoms, from the Parkers to In the House, to LL Cool J, doing things like that. It's a blessing. It's a blessing.
Yes, it truly is. So what do you see for yourself? Like, you're on a great show surrounded by a great cast, but what is it that you want to really, I guess, manifest or happen for yourself?
I just want to make myself accessible to anyone that's out there trying to make it in this industry. We all have to stick together, making sure that we get our stories out there. I just want to continue working and continue sharing my talent, and that's it. Just continue to shine light and shed light on issues, and actually just, sometimes put a smile on people's faces, to have to the point where it's like, hey, if you can watch our show and get away from the day-to-day and the day-to-day grind and actually feel some goodness in yourself and watching our show, then that's where I'm at. If I can put a smile on people's faces, then that's what's up.
That's what's up. So are you feeling like maybe the show a little bit, like what's going on? He's popping the questions. Are you feeling like that at all?
Oh, I mean, of course. I mean,
in real life.
I'm happily married.
Oh, you are married? Okay.
Yes, I'm happily married, and it's a beautiful thing. Black love is beautiful. And having my children. I got a 5-year-old. I got a 3-year-old. Just raising my 2 little girls. It's like they're my life, and to be able to continue to share my life with them, and to have the ability to do so, it just makes me feel so good, so complete, to have my career, to have my family, and just to keep pushing forward, and just being conscious of the world and things that are going on. I try to bring light to everybody I come in contact with, and just make people feel good. That's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're
Yes,
supposed to do, man. It's nothing wrong when you pass by a stranger and saying hi. You gotta make people feel good, man. You never know what people are going through on their day to day, and a simple smile and a hello can just brighten their day.
that's very true.
Yeah.
So when you were, because on the show you were trying to make the proposal special. That's what I saw in a little teaser, right? So what did you do to make your situation special with your wife? Like,
Well, the thing is that me and my wife, we just have a great relationship. We have a great friendship, and we talk about anything and everything. And when we went out, we actually got married out in Vegas, which some people are like, oh, don't get married in Vegas, it don't last.
how long has it been?
Oh man, we've been going like what 11, almost like 11 years now. It's like we've been together
Okay.
for me. I know it's not like 30 years, but it's like we've been together for
That's
a moment.
updated
You
and
know,
counting.
yeah. Now I just know my mom and my father, they got married in the courthouse, and that's what my mom was like. You can just go to the courthouse and go get married, That's how it was. Cause it's like sometimes you don't need to have this big old flamboyant wedding, because sometimes those things don't even last. But it's the fact that I'm just happy. I'm happy, and I
That's what matters.
feel the love,
Yeah, I saw a meme that people get married for the weddings, not for the love. You know what I mean? So that is important to not get caught up in that whole extravaganza and just make sure that you really there with that person, because you're gonna have to go through so many years and you're gonna change.
Yes.
Things change. So yeah, you're right.
It's exactly just learning each other. And it's like you're always gonna be going through different climates. Things sometimes are good, sometimes things are bad, but the fact is you have a partner with you that's gonna see you through it all the way. And that sometimes we don't even get there. So I'm looking at some of these older folks that have been married for 30 years, when they have their silver, their 25 years. Those things make me feel good, because Black love does exist, and it doesn't get the publicity that it needs to get sometimes. So that's why going through, this episode going on tonight, it's a major step. How many brothers out there, love their significant others and, don't know how to take it to the next step.
It's tricky right now with quarantine. You either married, you stuck with somebody, and you just like, well, I'm stuck with them because I can't really date, or you trying to date and you like, well, I don't know if I want to date. I got a social distance, so it's tricky right now. It's tricky.
Right. It's real tricky right about now. Having that 6 feet going on, you're trying to feel your knee. Okay.
Yo, I wore my mask. Hey, beautiful. How you doing, beautiful? Get away from me.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, I'm not trying. I don't know. It's crazy. But yeah, I appreciate you for coming on. Do you have any upcoming projects that we should know about also?
Well, right now I'm just into my writing. I've been writing a lot, so that's a beautiful thing. With this quarantine going on, it's hard to do anything right now. You can't really be an actor and have any scenes with someone doing this 6 feet of distance and having a mask on. So we're just waiting for this stuff to die down, and then once it dies down, prayerfully we'll be able to get some things and some wheels turning to make some stuff happen.
All right. Anything you want to say to the people? Let them know anything you got on your chest.
Hey, man, just stay strong out there. Don't let this world try to bring you down. Stay strong, stay focused, and tune in tonight and watch the show. It's going to be a quite interesting situation.
All right. So if you could give me a drop, just say, I'm chilling with my girl, Miss Conversation Peace. And you already know conversation rule the nation. You can say, watch Bounce, who you are, all of that too. But make sure you say conversation rules the nation.
Right on. But right now, I'm chilling with my girl, Miss Conversation. And, conversation rules the nation, baby.
Conversation Peace.
Oh, Conversation Peace. Mm-hmm. Okay. Right now, I'm chilling with Miss Conversation Peace, and conversation rules the nation. Yes, sir. Bounce TV, tune in tonight. Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you so much. Hopefully, we'll be talking in person one day on set.
Right. Exactly, man. Y'all tune into the show, baby. Yes, sir.
All right. Bye-bye.
Peace.